I do not get my news from traditional television broadcasts. I access news reports on YouTube from my desktop computer. This means I do not usually see local news reports unless they appear on my YouTube feed. Late yesterday evening, a news clip from the local NBC station appeared on my feed. I watched only the beginning of it because it was about my bedtime and I feared that the content would anger me so much as to disturb my sleep. A sleepless night makes me less than productive the next day, and I knew that I would want to be sufficiently alert to produce a video in reaction to this report as quickly as I could. Yesterday morning, June 25th, local NBC reporter Michael Bott recorded what he described as ICE making arrests at the immigration courthouse in San Francisco. In the video, the men wear masks and dark clothes and hats. No insignia is visible. There are no visible words inscribed on what the men are wearing. A young man bound by zip ties is seen being shoved into an unmarked white van by two unmasked men wearing dark shirts with arm patches, a scene reminiscent of the Gestapo from 1930s Germany. Michael Bott reports that such apprehensions have been taking place over the past few days and that in response many protesters have gathered at the site. This incident took place very early yesterday morning before many people were out and about. The immigration court is located on Montgomery Street in the otherwise busy downtown area of San Francisco. What came to my mind when I first encountered the report was the lack of reaction from the Archdiocese of San Francisco. The Chancery and the Cathedral are not too far from this location. San Francisco is not a large city, and often priests and Chancery employees will walk to restaurants located close to this area for lunch. The Civic Center Plaza, where annual March for Life and Rosary rallies have taken place, is only a few blocks away from the Chancery. The Archbishop has not been shy about spearheading demonstrations against local government. In 2020, Archbishop Corleone organized Save the Mass demonstrations in the city to protest what he claimed were unfair restrictions on worship spaces during the pandemic. He also led a Eucharistic procession across the Golden Gate Bridge to the Marin Headlands as part of the Eucharistic Revival campaign. The execution of these events would require the payment of hefty permit fees for the use of public land. In previous videos, I have complained about the Archbishop proudly announcing his appointment to the advisory board of President Trump's Religious Liberty Commission. In the press release published on the Archdiocesan website, the Archbishop claimed that religious liberty is a critical issue of our time. Apparently, he considers the issue to be so critical that the Archbishop chooses to be noticeably silent about the atrocities against brown-skinned migrants, many of whom are probably Catholic, which have been instigated by the Trump administration and are taking place right under the Archbishop's nose. As in the days of Pope Francis, Archbishop Salvatore Corleone continues to be selectively deaf to the issues which Pope Leo has continued to champion from the moment he first walked out onto the loggia of St. Peter's Basilica on the day of his election. Pope Leo's first words to the world were, "Peace be with you all." Since then, Pope Leo has condemned the aggressions which Donald Trump has encouraged and himself perpetrated on the United States and in the world. Early in his episcopal career, the then Bishop Corleone headed a USCCB committee similar to the Committee on Migrants currently assigned to Bishop Seitz. You would expect Bishop Corleone, a native of the San Diego Diocese, which touches the Mexican border, to be sensitive to the plights of migrants. Apparently, this is no longer the case. On the same day of the incident at the San Francisco Immigration Courthouse, the Archdiocesan website carried the story of an event held that very day at St. Raymond's Church in Menlo Park. a religious freedom dialogue featuring Lance Christensen of the California Policy Center, a right-wing political organization. This event had been prominently promoted on Archdiocesan social media. What was not as widely publicized was a prayer vigil in solidarity with immigrant brothers and sisters held on the previous Saturday, June 21st, on the plaza of the cathedral. I only happened to become aware of this event by seeing it in a parish bulletin a few weeks before. I did not see any other publicity on the vigil, and there has been no reporting of it since on the Archdiocesan website. While the Archdiocese of San Francisco gives undivided attention to religious liberty, other dioceses have done otherwise. Archbishop Gomez of Los Angeles participated in an interfaith prayer event in front of the Los Angeles City Hall. And as many of you have heard, Bishop-designate Pham of San Diego led diocesan clergy and other faith leaders to the immigration court in San Diego to accompany immigrants appearing in court on International Refugee Day, June 20th. The masked ICE agents who waited in the hallways to abduct brown-skinned migrants left the premises at the sight of the religious leaders. I am unaware that any organized effort has been made or that any coordinated response has taken place by Catholic archdiocesan clergy. Pope Francis frequently chided priests for passively waiting in rectories for people to come to them, rather than taking the initiative to go out and be among the people. Bishop Pham has modeled the correct response to this truly critical issue in our time: the mistreatment of migrants and the denial of due process. The bishop has done this without fear or favor. Archbishop Corleone has catastrophically failed as a good shepherd of the many souls entrusted to him in this moment. Many good people who are innocent of any crime are being snatched off the streets, out of schools, places of employment, and at least one place of worship. If he cares so much about religious liberty, how can he justify the disappearing of brown-skinned worshipers being abducted directly out of a Catholic church during Sunday Mass? Will he stand up to Donald Trump when this occurs? I said earlier, Bishop Pham acted without fear of a negative response from the public. Here in San Francisco, Archbishop Corleone takes his cues from Tim Bush and his Napa Institute, as well as the many Catholic donors who continue to support this most vile regime of Donald Trump. The Archbishop answers to the MAGA Catholic wealthy while ignoring the true teachings of Jesus Christ, Pope Leo, and the cries of the migrant, the poor, and the marginalized. Shame on him.